Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Soshtuvi and today we're discussing Betting on You by Lynn Painter. Now if you've been around booktube or booktok or bookstagram for a while now, you are very much aware of this author Lynn Painter. She's really popular among the romance readers. Her books are known to be very cute, wholesome, romantic, full of those OG rom-com vibes. So I have been excited to pick this up ever since I heard about it. Last year I read Better Than the Movies by her and I liked that quite a bit as well. It wasn't the most fantastic rom-com as everyone hyped it up to be, but I did enjoy it all the same. So I've been really interested to read this one because the synopsis really interested me and the cover looked really cute, and I've just been in the mood for a book like this for a while. So I finally picked it up and I loved it. But while I did love it, I do have some things on my mind that just could have been better. But we'll dive into that later. I never thought that I'd make like a book talk video about a romance book specifically, because what is there to say, right? Every romance book is pretty much the same basic plot and there's not much to say about them except that you like them or you don't like them. But here I am because I do have a lot to say. Before we get into all of that good stuff, let me just tell you what the book is about. So the book is about Bailey and Charlie. Okay, they're 17 years old and basically we see a flashback of them. The first 3 chapters are from 3 years ago when they were just freshmen in high school, and they met on a plane going back to the town that they're living in currently, and they met there and they had a not so meet cute they brushed shoulders, did not like each other, were quite annoyed by each other, and then we see them in current time when they run into each other again at their place of work, and they start growing into this sort of friends but not friends situation and obviously start to fall in love. It's also really heavily influenced by their friend group and their families, and of course they have daddy issues, because what is a romance book without daddy issues, am I right? Yeah, that's what this book is. My overall general spoiler-free thoughts are that I love this book, especially like if you had to break this down to 3 acts. The first 2 acts, brilliant, cannot complain, except those first 3 chapters. The 3 chapters from the perspective of them when they're younger and are annoying to each other were insufferable to read, to be honest, and I was pretty irritated. But if you don't count those 3 chapters, you overlook them, everything else was so good. It was so fun, so unbelievably joyful and funny. Like, I did not expect to be laughing as much as I did. I picked this up thinking this will be the perfect palate cleanser for me, because I've been reading a lot of mystery and crime books recently, but this exceeded my expectations. It was so funny and so cute, and their banter was hilarious and just on point and on par with each other, and the characters felt really fleshed out and you grew to care for the characters. Side note, about halfway through I realized why I liked Charlie so much, who's the guy in the book, and that's because Charlie is honestly sort of like the YA, like the young adult version of JJ from Outer Banks. If you know Outer Banks, if you know JJ is the love of my life. I freaking love him, and Charlie is basically the YA version in a lot of ways of JJ. Not completely, but in a lot of ways. He's chaotic, he's super funny, he's impulsive, he knows how to be there for people, how to lift up people. He knows he's humorous and he knows how to use it. He also uses his humor as a defense mechanism, and he has quite a few walls up to protect his feelings. He's a lot like JJ, and that's why I really enjoyed him as a character. And even Bailey too. She's a very type A personality, but not in the way where it frustrates you. You understand her and you care for her regardless, even though she's a little uptight sometimes. Almost the entire book is really great. The problems that I have, which aren't really problems per se, but things that I wish were done better, is when we get into the 3rd act, because the book really starts to slow down. This book is over 400 pages, and as I've always said, there's not much to a romance. You don't have to extend the story that much. So even though I was really enjoying spending time with these characters, I did hit a point where I was like, can we speed it up? Why are we just going through things? A lot of the things that happened in the last half were unnecessary. Like, they added or changed nothing into the story. So it was like, why did we have these minor conflicts for the sake of conflict? So the pace really slowed down, and then, like I said, the characters, friends and family play a big part in this book as well, right? So we have certain conflicts that we see between them that never really got resolved completely, or like they were emphasized so much throughout the book, and the end result wasn't as fulfilling. So it just felt like if you're not gonna complete those arcs, why bring them up to begin with, you know? But yeah, that's pretty much the only bone I have to pick with the book. Apart from that, this book was great, and dare I say I liked this better than the movies. Don't come for me, please don't come at me, that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I did not think that this would happen, but it did. I really like this book. Also, I must say, I love when characters in a book are Swifties, because hello, fellow Swiftie here. It just gives me so much joy. And there are books where like people name drop Taylor Swift or her lyrics or something, and you can see that it's a cash grab, but not from this author and this book. Like, it feels genuine. It's a really cute touch to the book, and I love the fact that Charlie, the guy, is also a Swiftie. Speaking of, there are obviously some really cute lines in the book, and I want to read one to you. Not a spoiler. They're about to go on a road trip, and he's sitting in the car and she's walking towards him, and in his mind he's saying that he's been feeling on edge about this road trip. And he says, the on edge feeling ratcheted up to an inching toward the end of the cliff level of on edge as I watched her approach the car. Swear to God, I heard Taylor Swift's voice say, are you ready for it? Let the games begin. Oh my God. There's just something about a male character saying that the girl he's into reminds him of Taylor Swift that will always have my heart. Moving on though. If you want a cute, chill, wholesome, having a good time kind of book, pick up Betting on You. Let me know in the comments if you've read this already. I would like to discuss with you and get to know if like you enjoyed this. Now I do want to discuss some spoilers, so if you haven't read the book, you can click away after subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next one. But for the ones who have read the book, let us get into it. So I just want to dive into some of the issues I have with the book. Number one being Charlie and his mental health issues. Initially, I was super happy to see that, oh my God, we have the male protagonist whose mental health issues are being emphasized on, and it was so good to see some male mental health representation. So I was really hopeful about it, but we never really see any resolve in it. And I'm not saying I want to see him get a solution for it by the end of the book, because mental health struggles can be a lot and you don't always get a solution for them, or like the healing process is never linear. So I'm not saying I want like him to have like a happy ending, no issues anymore kind of an ending, but some kind of path or acknowledgement towards the issue. We see Bailey noticing that, you know, he's clearly going through some things. We kept seeing her say that, oh, you don't have to share it with me right now, you can come to me when you're ready for it. And we never saw that happening. I thought around the third hour conflict time, or like during the time when he's apologizing, we'll finally get the part where he talks to her about his issues, you know, and we see that little moment of them sharing with each other, because we see Bailey constantly sharing with him how she's feeling, but we don't really get that in return from Charlie's side. And that was just, it left me feeling unfulfilled a little bit. I was like, but what about him? Similarly with Charlie, his family issues were also a big part of it, right? His parents' divorce and the way his mom was dealing with things and his dad was dealing with things. And we never see an end to that either, like what happened, you know? Another thing that pissed me off was Bailey's conflicted feelings towards her mom as well, not just her dad and the dude who came into her life, but about her mom. Considering how much emphasis was laid on the fact that her and her mom are super close, I really thought there would come a point where her mom would, you know, come to her and say, hey, voice your opinions to me. I'd like to hear you out. I'd like to understand. I'd like to take that into account. But we don't see that happen. She just says, oh, Bailey, can you just try for me? And that's it, which was a little stupid. How are you doing all this and just expecting your teenage daughter to just get along with everything, and not considering or taking into consideration what she might be feeling, or hearing her out, or asking her opinion? Shouldn't you talk things out with your daughter? Also with Bailey's dad, again, so much emphasis laid on the fact that her dad has been ignoring her for a while, and then in the end he just starts texting her again because her mom told him to, and that's that. Like, you don't see a conversation happening between the two of them as to why this happened. It just felt like, you know, like I would have honestly been fine if we didn't have any of these other plot lines in the story. If we had just these two and them hanging out and falling in love, I honestly would have been completely fine with that. But since you are providing these other plot lines, I'm gonna get invested, and then you have to finish them too, right? You can't just be like, I'm gonna create these plot lines to create some kind of a change to usual romance stories and then not see them through till the end. Honestly, this could have been so close to a perfect romance for me. It could have been a 515. I'm not even kidding, because I just loved the vibes of this book. I loved the romance. I loved the humor. So it could have been a 515, but unfortunately, those issues are too large for me to ignore. But other than that, a solid book. I would give this a 4 out of 5 stars. Yeah, that's all I had to say. I really needed to get that off my chest. That's Betting on You by Lynn Painter. Let me know, did you guys feel the same way, or were you happy with it regardless? Like, I would love to know what everyone else thinks of this, because again, I know it's been out for a while, but I haven't seen anyone else talking about it. So I don't know what everyone else thinks of this, but that's my opinion so far. Yeah, I guess that's all for today. Thank you so much for hearing me out and for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Storygraph, linked down below. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.